Hello everyone, and it is once again that time of year when we start talking about our wrap-ups. And today I want to do the most important one of all, which is my 2025 reading wrap-up. And this year, as last year, I am using my own Google spreadsheet. This has been about 2.5 years of work, blood, sweat, and tears to make it exactly the way that I want it. And this is the first year where I have basically really been very, very happy with the structure of it. So I just want to take you through how I went with reading this year and all the different data points that I have, which I think is super, super fun. So I'll start on the left. This is all numbers stuff. So at the moment, I wanted to read 100 books this year. I only got to 68, unfortunately. And technically this number is a little bit off because it is December 30 and I am only a third of the way through the last book that I'm reading for the year, which is really unfortunate. I'm reading The Primal of Blood and Bone. It is a giant book and I'm just not going to finish it in time. So, everything is -1, but that's fine. So I actually read 67 books for the year, which is still pretty impressive considering I had a 2-month reading slump. Honestly, it was 2.5, but yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that actually. My physical TBR, I didn't get it down to 0, but I did get it down to 27, and I'm pretty happy with that considering I went on a little bit of an audiobook spending spree for Christmas. So, it would have been lower if Audible hadn't, existed, so it's not my fault. I'm currently in the middle of 19 different series and I've managed to finish 36. I didn't manage to finish a single reading challenge this year. I'm very disappointed in myself. I tried, well, I guess I did do the top 12 monthly reads, technically. I filled in all the months that I could, so we're gonna give ourselves a tick for that one and make ourselves feel better. I like to average around 10 books a month. I think this gives me plenty of wiggle room as far as goals go, because if I actually managed to read 10 books a month, that would have given me 120 books a year and that would have been amazing. But as you can see, sometimes I can easily hit that 10 book a month goal, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. So I like to have unrealistic goals so I can try super hard. As you can see, in January I read 12 books, February I read 10, then 4, 5, 6, 11, 2, and then this is where the reading slump really happened, from August, September to October. And then I started coming back in the middle of November and into December. I added this year, which I think is a really interesting statistic. It's how many hours of audiobooks I actually listen to every month. So I know in total, minusing the 40-hour audiobook that I'm currently listening to, I've listened to over 800 hours of audiobooks this year, which is an incredible number. Next up, let's look at my top 12 monthly reads. So this should give you a pretty good idea of the sort of books that I love to read. These were my top books of each month. So no surprise, in January, Onyx Storm, when that came out, incredible read. February was Bat Eater. This was an amazing COVID-inspired horror. Loved it. Sunrise on the Reaping, another one that's really not that surprising. Everyone loved it. I cried, and when you cry tears, it's an automatic 5-star. So April was Holy Terrors. This was the conclusion to the Little Thieves series. Absolutely loved it. Wrapped up super well. In May, it was Blood Trials. I really need to read the sequel. I don't think I have that on my radar. I'm gonna have to make a note somewhere about that. Staircase in the Woods is another horror. This was really good. It's about liminal spaces and weird shit fucking appearing in forests. It was so good. July was Crystal Crowns and August was Hunt in Shadows, because I spent a good almost 2 months reading all of the books in this one universe by Elise Cover. So Crystal Crown is from the main series, that's books 1 to 5. And then there was a time travel series right after that. So it occurs during the same time period as the first series, but also before the first series. But it's really important that you read it after the first series. And then in the final series in that universe continues on technically from where this one finishes about 20 years later. And that is Hunt and my favorite one out of that 5 was Hunt and Shadows. That was really good. So I read 15 books by this one author in a row just to smash out that entire series. That was a great time. And unfortunately, it was I ran out of audiobook credits and I couldn't afford to get any audiobooks for 2 months. So I couldn't finish the series and I refused to read anything else. It put me in such a slump because I couldn't finish the series. Once I'm in the middle of the series, I have to finish it if all the books are out. So eventually I did manage to finish it in November, but then I read Arcana Academy in November, again by Elise Cover, and it was incredible. So that ended up topping out for November. And then this month, my favorite book was The 13th Child, which is not a surprise to me because I love one of Erin A. Craig's other horror books, which is Small Favors, and so that didn't surprise me at all that I absolutely loved that one. This was really interesting. So this is the total number of stars. As you can see, I don't give a lot of low star ratings. That's because if I'm not really enjoying a book, I'm just going to DNF it. I handed out 23 5 stars, 6 4.5, 19 4 stars, 3 3.5 stars, 11 3 stars, only 1 2.5, 1 2, and 3 DNFs. Now you can see here I tried on my reading challenges. I really tried. So my 25 and 25, the way I like to format this reading challenge is I'll write the name of the book. If it's a pre-order, I like to show that with a colored background so I know that it's a pre-order. I can't just jump right in. If it's a standard book, I'll just put it in with no background color. And then as I finish each book, I will go ahead and put the book cover in here. So you can see I was 4 away. I'm still in the middle of Primal Bloodbone, but yeah, I tried, okay, I tried. And then, I thought, let's do 10 before the end. Let's really kick it in the butt. And I didn't even finish that one. I'm so bad for reading challenges. I'm not even gonna lie, but I swear I tried. And the other one is this TBR prompts. I think this is really fun. This is based off the idea of TBR jars that I see on booktubers videos. So I took a bunch of those sort of prompts and I just chucked them all in here in this little chart. And I tried to, do as many as I could. I got most of it. It's 95% complete, so that's something. It's something. Next up was the upcoming releases. This is where I keep track of all the books that are coming out during the year, and I can denote whether I've pre-ordered it or not. So that was really useful actually, because I have the worst habit of reading the first book in a series and then completely forgetting that it exists because I can't immediately continue on in the series. So this has been really helpful for helping me stay with my series and keep up to date with them. So that was really, really useful actually. And then my monthly TBR. This was so useful because it gives me all the information I need to decide what book I want to read at a glance. So you've got the title, again it's green, it's a pre-order, the length of the book, a link to the book, and the status. So whether I finished it, I'm in the middle of reading it, I missed reading it this month, or I DNF'd it. So I find this really useful because sometimes it'll be, towards the end of the month and I only have a certain amount of time left. So I'll choose something a bit smaller so I can actually finish it. This month, as you can see, I was very ambitious because I wanted to tick off that TBR prompt of the longest book on your TBR, and I've been putting this book off because it's so big and so intimidating, and I didn't even finish it in time. But yeah, this was really useful. I like having this information here. It does really help me choose what I want to read. And then this is the page that I absolutely adore. I love people who do bullet journaling. They are so talented. I do not have the patience for it. If it's not perfectly aligned and not perfectly straight, it's ruined and I hate it, destroy it. So I made one for myself that would be perfectly aligned. So you can see every single book I've read this year along with their rating. So you can see here, I'm a big series person. So I read Red Rising all the way through to Morningstar. I reread Bridge Kingdom all the way to Twisted Throne. I really like series. It's my favorite thing. Oh, I did finish it. I did finish Blood Gift. Okay, cool. So I thought I missed it, but it's fine. I did actually read it. This is what I mean. I forget what books I read all the time. And then this is where the Elise cover started. So I was reading Duel with the Vampire Lord, which was a new one, and then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go back, reread Deal with the Elf King, reread Dance of the Fey Prince, and then I was like, oh, now I'm finished all her standalones. I wonder what else she has. And then I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of her other books in another universe. They were incredible. I absolutely love them. Like, there's nothing below a 3-star in these books. I absolutely loved them. And you can see here, if I DNF'd a book, I just don't give it a rating. And then, yeah, so you can see absolutely everything that I've read this year at a glance. I love it. It's so pretty. And then this is like the meaty stuff. So this is all the real details. You've got the title of the book, the author, the status, so same as before, currently reading, finished, or DNF. The month I read it in, whether I own it, I borrowed it from the library. The rating I ended up giving it, whether the author is debut, new to me, or read before, how long it is, whether it's part of the series, what series that is, and whether it's the last book in that series, if it's part of a readathon or not, whether it's a reread, the main genre, secondary genre. As you can see, I read a lot of fantasy romance. That is my thing. Publication year, so this is really simple. So new release just means it was released in 2025, last year means it was released in 2024, and backlist is any other year before that. I just like to keep it really simple. The direct link, the tropes in the book, and the characters' names. I felt like this was really helpful for me to remember what was going on. Sometimes I didn't do it, like as you can see for all the Elise Cover books, I was so engrossed in them, I didn't even bother. But yeah, this is really interesting for me to see visually, like how many books I actually got through this month. And then, you know, every time I start a book, I will come over here and update it in the physical bookshelf. So this is absolutely every book I've ever owned, ever read, all in one place, because I really like to keep that continuous data. I don't want to lose my history of what I've read. So you can see I've got every single book I've ever read, so not just this year. And then I also like to keep track of how many books I actually have on my bookshelf, how many books I have in my audio library as well, and that populates up here, which I think is a really interesting number, but I might actually have to go through that again because I have sold some books, so this number might be a little bit off. Like Lightlark and Nightbane, I actually don't own those anymore. I ended up selling that. So yeah, I might have to go through this a little bit and just go through the physical ones, because I have sold a few books this year. But it's basically the same sort of setup as books read detailed, you know, title, author status, and then yeah, I physically own it, if I own it as an audiobook, if it's part of a series name, the number in the series where it's final book, and the link, because this allows me to compress all this data into something that I can carry over into future years. And then on top of that, there's also the series tracker. So these are all the series I've ever read, ever started, ever finished, and the ones I'm currently in the middle of, so I can hopefully, you know, finish all of the series that I've ever started. As you can see here, I've added a bunch of new series because I bought a bunch of new books over Christmas, and I'm not sure how many books are going to be in the series, so I leave that blank. Sometimes I'll take a guess, like on like 3 books in the Cursed Stars series, but no, it's actually 2. And I did look at that recently, and I'm not continuing with that one. So I like to keep on top of this so I know what books I'm still waiting on, you know. And then transactions. This is a really eye-opening sheet, I'm not gonna lie. So I've spent $1,700 on books this year. However, I've made $170 on books I've sold, so you know, it totally balances out. I've bought 53 books this year and sold 2. So I think buying 50 books in a year, I think that's very reasonable for someone who reads as much as me. I think that is super reasonable. I'll again write the title and author, the month I bought it in, and where I've bought it from. So you can see here, I used to have the Nevernight subscription, and I used to have the Romantasy subscription from Illumicrate and Fairy Loot respectively. And then how much the book cost me. I used to do book talk and that. I don't do that anymore, but I have a column for whether I'd hold it if I've already paid for it, because there was some pre-orders where I didn't have to pay for it until it was you know, coming in. Whether I've read it or not, if it's a special edition or not, whether it was a pre-order, I bought it online, or I bought it in store. If it was a pre-order, the release date. And then when I actually sell a book, I have these 2 columns. So how much I sold it for and where I sold it. So I think this is really, yeah, you can see what happened. So, okay, hear me out. November is my birthday month. So I got my new yearly Audible subscription for my birthday, which is 12 credits off the bat. Done, gone, spent them all. And then in December, I got some more money for my birthday, so I bought more credits. I'm not sorry at all. It's a lot of pre-orders, definitely a lot of pre-orders. So, you know, things happen, okay? It's not my fault. I think some of these are actually pre-orders. I might need to update that. But yeah, I think that's just really interesting information to see how much I'm actually spending on books. This used to be a lot worse. I think my 2024 one was insane. I've dialed it back. I'm being good, guys. And then finally is my wish list. I did not manage to get everything on my wish list this year. Unfortunately, I had a really hard time finding the books that I'm missing. I am missing the City of Dusk and the sequel, Midnight Kingdom, unfortunately, because it wasn't a very popular release. Not many people are selling it. I haven't been able to get my hands on it. And I missed the second book in the Belladonna series. I don't know how I missed it, but I missed the release email, so I missed buying it, and no one is selling just the second book. It doesn't make any sense to do that. So I'm going to have to find someone selling like the whole set or something, and then try and sell book 1 and 3 or something. It's going to be a whole thing. So I just haven't gotten around to that this year. But with that being said, this is my entire 2025 reading wrap up. And if you're interested to see what 2026 is looking like, I'll give you a quick preview of that. So it's exactly the same, because I am a creature of habit. 150%. Once I find something that works, I stick to it like glue. I can't help myself. So, you know, same sort of goals as last year. I have already ported over a copy of my bookshelf and series tracker. However, I did that in November, so I'm going to have to redo that. And again, you know, put the book covers in here, the star ratings, and this was just a note to myself to update that. For the reading challenge, I've decided for 26 in 26, all the books I'm going to try and read. We will see how this goes. As you can see, a lot of pre-orders. I really try to prioritize my pre-orders, so you know, if I'm buying them, I'm actually reading them. And again, the road to 0, which is to take my TBR down to 0. So these are all the books that I already own that I haven't read yet. So this is specifically books I already own, not just the pre-orders. So you'll see there's some duplication here, like Cruel Illusions, Library Hellbore. They're all over here as well, because my priority for 2026 is to get my TBR down as low as physically possible. And yep, same TBR prompts, and I've already started filling in my 2026 upcoming releases so I can keep on top of all the books that are coming out this year. I'm very excited. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit annoyed about the Ballad of Falling Dragons, that it got pushed back because it messed up my goals for last year, so I'm a little bit annoyed. But I am very excited for that one. And then monthly TBR, I haven't filled that out yet. I'm going to do that today, I think, to decide on my January TBR. And then again, the same sort of sheet as last year. And then again, the same setup as before. I did also add this year a section for summary / notes if I want to remember anything in particular. So that is new this year. And the bookshelf, as you can see, I already ported some of the information over, but I am going to need to update it because yeah, it's not quite accurate anymore. And the same as the series tracker, that is not 100% accurate anymore. So that's fine. I'll just copy and paste a new version. Transactions is the same. I did improve my wish list this year. I'm much happier with this layout. I think it's going to look a lot better because I would like to complete some collections and get in some books that I adored but I don't physically own. So yeah, that is my 2026 reading goal spreadsheet and my 2025 reading wrap up. Let me know in the comments down below how many books you read this year. If you've seen my reading tracker and you really like it, I'll put a link in the description for you if you want to pick it up yourself. No pressure, absolutely no pressure. This is just how I like to track my books, and if you like it, then you can grab it as well. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I will see you guys next time.